All right, so we got weird Space Marine chapters you need to know about. It's from the boy, the man, the myth, the legend, Wes Hammer. I got some dinner right next to me, so I'm gonna be eating while I'm reacting to this video. I know it's a little ghetto, but make sure you guys get your snacks as well. It's gonna be a long video. Let's get right to it. Let's go, man.
Warhammer 40k is a franchise that is absolutely chock full of secretive and mysterious factions that most of the community doesn't even know exists. Now, Space Marines are no exception to this, as although most of us can probably name the 18 different Space Marine legions, it's a rare individual that can...
Listen, I can name. All right, let me see. Let me see if I can do it off the bat. Don't laugh at me if I mess up. Obviously, the salamanders. Let's see, the blood angels. The Thousand Suns, the Ultramarines, the group, the white and red group, and the leader is like a Japanese dude or whatever. Them, I think it was like the speed something like that, whatever. I'm counting that. Oh my God, why my brain stuck right now? My brain's stuck. Let me see. Read them right now. Okay, these are not even it. Did I say the Black Angels? Them. Oh my God, bro, my brain's stuck.
Hundreds of chapters and or warbands that currently exist or have existed at some point in the history of the Imperium. And if I'm being completely honest with you, most of those obscure chapters that don't get talked about nearly enough end up being way more interesting than the ones that we all already know about. So today we're going to be talking about 4 obscure Space Marine chapters that you've probably never heard of.
Okay.
We're going to be talking about a chapter of Space Marines whose entire purpose is to fight against the most horrifying enemies mankind has ever encountered, and for their own...
the bloodsuckers, right? Or the what is it called? Oh my God, it's at the tip of my tongue, bro. The crash shouts, the guy that like, bro, they got like a bunch of like nails in their head or whatever, and like their crash shouts, like they're not allowed to feel like any but like emotion besides anger. Them as well. So that's 6 people. That's 6 groups.
Protection. Their minds have to be completely wiped after each and every engagement. A Space Marine chapter that suffers from a genetic defect that causes their bones to grow out of control, manifesting into razor-sharp retractable arm blades. A Chaos Warband that, for all intents and purposes, is the Chaos equivalent of the Legion of the Damned. Nobody knows who or what they are, but for some reason all of the weapons, armor, and ships that they have are clearly human, but somehow futuristic, and nobody knows how they got them. And finally, we're going to talk about a chapter of Space Marines that ritualistically allows themselves to be possessed by demons. They do this in order to exorcise them, and then be better suited to fight against the forces of chaos.
I'm gonna be honest with you, that actually doesn't sound bad. I mean, obviously, when you're partnering up with like demons and stuff like that, obviously there's like a cause and effect. I mean, that's just obvious. Like, I don't have to be, Albert Einstein to like think about that. But if I'm being honest with you, that actually doesn't sound that bad. I mean, would I do it? Of course not, but
However, it's what they do to the recruits that aren't able to pass this trial that makes them truly grimdark. We're gonna be talking about all that and a whole lot more, but first a quick shout out to this video's sponsor. And listen, I get it. It's a controversial sponsor, I understand that. But in my defense, Warhammer is an expensive ass hobby. I'm addicted to plastic crack and audiobooks, and someone's gotta pay for all that. And it might as well be them. So roll the tape.
Who is it?
Game maker Crayplay invites you to play Hyper Fever. Critics call it the most mobile of all mobile
Wait, this is like a... Oh, okay, I think he must be joking or whatever. But listen, make sure you guys like the video, subscribe to the channel if you guys are new. Make sure you guys, bro, follow my Twitch down below. It's the link down below. All you gotta do is click it. It takes you right to my channel. But if you guys want to do like all extra and stuff like that, please just type it in King D with 2 lines at the bottom of the screen.
Stop
And other than that,
I can't show
let's get right
this.
back to the video.
That is the most ridiculous, stupid thing I've ever seen. I need an actual good sponsor for my lore videos. Something that's a game that's actually fun to play. A sponsor like Raid Shadow Legends. If you somehow haven't heard of it yet, Raid Shadow Legends has completely
Get that
taken
bag,
over
bro.
the gaming world.
I ain't mad at
as
you.
it's
Listen,
the
this ain't
first game to
controversial
bring
at
a
all.
true console
Get
level
that bag,
experience to
yo.
your phone.
Get that
Explore
bag,
millions
King.
of
I'm not
champion
mad at you. Get
combinations
that
and
bag.
master countless
Get that
tactics
bag.
as you take on raid bosses, dungeon runs, campaign battles, and PvP arena matches. With hundreds of artifacts to equip on over 600 champions, you can build your team and raid your way. No matter who you are, Raid's got a faction that you're going to absolutely fall in love with. Even for someone like me who is super picky and can never really decide if I like beastmen, lizardmen, or the undead more, as Raid has all three of them and lets me mix and match as much as I want to get the perfect squad. The big news in Raid this month is Call of the Arbiter, which is going to be super hot. Raid Shadow Legends itself is getting updated with a load of cool new content related to the limited series. We're talking new champions, an artifact set, events, and a whole lot more. There's even a whole load of champion bios that have just been added to the game. So if you're someone like me who's obsessed with lore, this is going to be big. With all of this exciting stuff and more coming to Raid, if you haven't started playing yet, then what are you waiting for? Use my link in the description, or scan my QR code here on the screen to get insane bonuses. We're talking an epic champion Drake, as well as 4 energy refills, a skill tome, and an XP booster. All of this amazing stuff will be waiting for you right here. So just hit the link in the description and I'll see you on the battlefield. Big thanks to Raid Shadow Legends for sponsoring this video. The Warp Ghosts are probably one of the most mysterious Chaos Space Marine warbands that currently exists in the lore, and what makes them really interesting is they very well may be one of the most important.
I'm gonna be completely honest with you. This kind of scared me. The Warp Ghost. I've never in my life, in all my, Warhammer life, which is very short, I've never, ever heard of like these guys before. Never in my life.
Chaos Space Marine warbands that currently exist in the lore, and what makes them really interesting is they very well may be one of the most important as well. We really don't know too much about these guys. We don't know what legion they descend from, what time period they were created in, what their ultimate goals and ambitions are, or perhaps even most mysteriously, what they even are. Nothing about them seems to make sense, and the best source that we have on them comes from a strange encounter during the Black Legion novel by Aaron Dembski-Bowden. I don't want to spend too much time in this video giving an entire summary of the book, so all you need to know is that this takes place before the First Black Crusade, and Abaddon and his Black Legion are for the very first time attempting to break free from the Eye of Terror back into real space. They're not alone in their endeavor, as there is a warlord of the Death Guard, known as Derivak, that is attempting to do the same thing. Derivak's fleet, by comparison, is vastly more powerful than Abaddon's. He has more warriors, more ships, and an enormous amount of resources at his disposal.
I'm gonna be honest with you, bro. He looks corrupted. Now I understand this guy look like he from the Warp or whatever, and I know like everybody in the Warp is purely ugly. I mean, I know a lot of you guys may disagree. Like they might be, listen, there may be some thick demons down there. I'm gonna be honest with you. If I said that, I said that. But because obviously, I'm a man of the man. I'm really a man of Christ. So I'm not even supposed to be saying that. But to be real with you, in the chaos, bro, man, I just feel bad, bro. Look at his face. He look like Two-Face from Batman. Like, I'm gonna be honest with you, bro. I don't know if it's just like, you need some proactive or whatever, bro. And then he got the bubble guts. The bubble guts are out, man. Oh my goodness. He just look, I mean, he does look intimidating. And one thing I will say like about like Warhammer art, bro, they might be the best in the business. I can't lie to you. Even though everything in Warhammer, costs like, it costs like a leg and an arm, but I'm gonna be honest with you, like the art and like the merchandise and like the whatever. I know I'm taking like a little sidetrack, whatever, but like the art, the the figurines, like all the. I'm gonna be honest with you, it's worth it.
Both of the fleets have become becalmed in the warp, right outside of the entrance of the Eye of Terror, so neither of them can move forward and actually break free. It's then that they decide to have a meeting on a nearby planet to discuss terms. It's not really a parley, a peace treaty, or any kind of real negotiation, as Derivak realizes that Abaddon's in no position to negotiate, and Derivak is simply here to make demand.
Bro got no choices. He got no time. I mean, obviously, if this was Vulcan, see, Vulcan, he'll have all the choices. As a matter of fact, see, Vulcan, he'll whisper to me. He'll really contact me and be like, bro, what's my choices, right? His voice will be all deep. And I'm gonna be like, well, Vulcan, you really could do this and do this and do this. Like, cause I'm really like, I'm like the Paul Heyman, to Vulcan, I'm like the I don't know. I'm like the Robin to Vulcan. You know, obviously, Vulcan. He's like the main character. I'm the side character to him. So, but obviously, like this guy right here, man, he got no sorts of choices at all.
He wants ships in exchange for not attacking them. It's during the meeting, however, that something really strange happens. A new fleet appears out of nowhere in between both of the others. Abaddon's sorcerer, Iskandar Kane, looks up and remarks that the ships are incredibly bizarre. They don't really seem to make a lot of sense. They have enough in common with other Imperial ships that they are very clearly of human origin, but none of them are able to recognize what exact pattern they are. They're not from the present, and they're not even from the Horus Heresy era. They're clearly much more advanced and almost futuristic. One by one, every ship in both of the Chaos fleets reports that they have suddenly been boarded, which should be impossible, or at least it will require a full-scale assault. But on each and every one of them, a single lone Space Marine in gray armor with no recognizable symbols has appeared out of nowhere. As the reports start to come in, both sides believe that the other has broken their momentary truce, so the high-tension situation is in danger of reaching a breaking point. It's just then that another one of these gray Marines appears on the horizon and starts to walk towards the group. I'm going to read for you the passage from the Black Legion novel where this occurs, and just for context, it's Iskandar Kane, Abaddon's personal sorcerer, that is narrating. I looked between the two opposed, confused groups of warriors. One by one, they turned to stare across the dusty garden with its eroded statuary, where a lone warrior walked from the Eldar ruins. He was dead. I thought that at once, as easily if I had seen decaying flesh or smelt the rotting musk of decomposition. Ooh. To my sixth sense, he was without a soul, a man disconnected from the mechanisms of life, and yet he walked closer. His armor the light gray of an overcast sky.
Stop right there, bro. Stop right there, bro. I can smell your stench from here. I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't mean to be rude, and especially like whenever it comes to like meeting strangers and everything like that, bro. I'm like an extrovert outside. I mean, it's crazy because like now I'm an extrovert, but like back then I really wasn't. But that's besides the point. I'm gonna be honest with you, right? If I saw this menace right here walking towards me, bro, you're close enough. You know that line that people use in the movies? All right, that's far enough. You know that line, bro. Man, I'm using that line, bro. Yo, Vulcan, bro, back this bum up. I'm gonna be honest with you. He does not look appealing. He doesn't look happy. There's not a smile on his face. I'm gonna be honest with you. I will be really afraid.
By the faintest pale green, his eye lenses red lit from within. He was no demon. Demons had no souls, yet they are presences in the warp. They are the warp itself, and form writhing, drifting things before my psychic gaze. Yet he was no human. Humans have shining souls, and they are beacons in the warp's tumultuous night. Whatever this warrior was, he walked the line between mortal and immortal, fused with the warp, yet not born from it, saturated by the immaterium, yet not possessed by it. He had a soul. I saw as he drew near, and it was still his own, a weak thing, a dim and shredded light.
Okay, so I'm guessing that's how they like describe like a ghost. I'm guessing like that's how they describe like a ghost, like in Warhammer. Somebody that like they kind of have a soul, but like it's very like dim or whatever. Cause like I never thought like here's the thing, right? Whenever it comes down to ghosts or whatever, like I'm kind of half and half. Like I believe there's a ghost, but at the same time I really don't or whatever. But bro, like I never would think that like a ghost, and I'm just saying just ghosts in general, not even like Warhammer or like real life or whatever. But I would think that like a ghost would have a soul, because like a ghost, it's something. It's not nothing. Like a demon is technically nothing. Like it has no soul, it has no pizzazz. It's legit. It's just a thing created from like a place, if that makes sense. Like it's like a product of the environment in a way. But at the same time, like this thing, like a demon, whatever, like it has nothing. Like it has no soul, no nothing. But then obviously, like, as Wes Hammer referred to like the humans, he said that their souls like brighten up, whatever. But then like this guy right here, he kind of has a soul, but at the same time it's dimmed down. So at the end of the day, I mean, if that's their way of describing like what a ghost is in Warhammer, I mean the description actually does make sense. So it's actually very interesting. I mean, I'm gonna be honest with you. Like, if me and Vulcan, we chilling, we're playing dice or whatever, and and we hear a sound, we both look simultaneously, and we see this thing right here. He got a couple eyes. He got an eye as a knee pad, and he got an eye as his heart. I'm gonna be honest with you. This will, put an unpleasant feeling in my stomach. I feel like I took some Pepto-Bismol.
There was a beauty in that. In the same way a lesser
beauty.
mind reliant on the 5 mundane senses, might say beauty in a color never before seen.
Beauty?
Here before me was a kind of entity I had never believed possible, taking the form of a brother legionary. What legion or chapter had sired him, I could not say. His armor was of a mark unknown to me then, not even matching the newer suits of Aquila pattern battleplate that I had seen aboard the Black Templar's vessel.
Dang,
The
he
Great
didn't
Warrior
update his
turned
armor.
helmed head to each in turn, showing no favor.
Oh, my bad,
either
y'all. Sorry
way.
about that, y'all.
The voice that emerged from his helmet grill was deep, though not unusually so for a legionary, and his words were preceded by a click of vox projection, just as any of our voices were. I am Saronus. Within his words, I heard the telltale flow of respiration. He was dead to my sixth sense, yet alive to all others. My fascination deepened. Had he been one of us before undergoing these changes? Was he still one of us, but with mutations of the soul that set him apart? The icon on his pauldron was not one I recognized, but it was nevertheless gravid with symbolism. 2 skulls set within an 8-spiked disc, one looking to the left and the other to the right.
Oh,
An
nah.
inscription ringed the staring skulls, cast in dark silver, and written in an unfamiliar dialect of High Gothic, in Abysso Talimus Eniabus Dominatus. The exact translation evaded me, but I could make out its meaning. We bear the souls of the damned through the depths.
Oh,
The
hell
conversation
no.
that plays
Nope.
out here is admittedly cryptic and mysterious. Now, basically every question that Derevek asks is met with the same line over and over. You speak irrelevancies. How did you reach us undetected? Where do your loyalties lie? Etc., etc. Eventually, Abaddon asks if they will guide them out of the storm, and that gets the warrior's attention. He says that they will if they are willing to meet their price. Saronos reveals
Price? Nah, you doing this for free. What are you talking about? Yeah, you're doing this for free, bro. Yeah. You're doing this for free. Free 99. What are you talking? Price, brother. We're not paying you nothing, bro. What are you? Oh, you must think this is some type of like, oh, well, I'll walk your dog for you for $5. You must think this like, no. It's you help us now or you'll become a victim. Yeah, bro. Yeah, I'm just speaking from like, what me and my squad, what me and the salamanders think. It's either you help us now or you become a victim. I mean, listen, we help everybody else. It's about time somebody help us for free. Okay, so at the end of the day, like I said before, it's either you help us or what you talking about? There's a price, bro. Like, huh? Get your reputation up before you ask for a price. What are you talking about? No, bro, don't come from out the woodwork talking about I am Samos. And we look at you like, oh, okay, like, what up, bro? You want to help us out? Oh, yeah, I could definitely help you out, but there's a price. I'm gonna be honest with you, bro. Like, we're all gonna grab you, bro, and we're gonna shake you, bro. Just like how a bully will shake a kid to get the lunch money out of his pants. Like, we're gonna shake you, bro, until you give us the answers. Like, listen, am I wrong for that? I don't think so, but bro, who does this guy think he is? What you asking for, bro? This ain't a pawn shop.
that him and the other warp ghosts' main purpose is to guide other ships out of the Eye of Terror. And what's important to remember here is at this point in the timeline, the first Black Crusade has yet to happen. No Chaos fleet has ever been able to successfully break free from the Eye of Terror, but apparently the Warp Ghosts have already mastered this ability and are able to assist others in the process. Saronos asks both sides what they are willing to sacrifice, and the Death Guard leader, who is like a fat, greedy king, tells him that he will give him whatever he wants. Ships, slaves, weapons, it didn't matter. He was so confident in his ability to utterly destroy the fledgling Black Legion that he would take them from his enemies and give them to the newcomers.
Bruh.
Saronos acknowledges this and then turns to Abaddon and asks him the same question. After consulting with his sorcerer, Abaddon realizes that a sacrifice means nothing unless the individual is truly giving up something of value. A sacrifice was meant to hurt you. Giving something meaningless or
Man, that makes sense right there. Man, that makes sense right there. You heard what he said. He said a sacrifice is something, it's meant to hurt you in a way because it's called a sacrifice. You're giving up something valuable. So something like time, something like, I guess money, obviously, people value whatever, but that is the meaning of a sacrifice is to give up something valuable for something else. Like they sacrifice something. But if you're just like a greedy, ugly, fat king that cry out grease, at the end of the day, like if you're just giving away, you want to help me out? Okay, cool, bro. I'll just give you some slaves or something. Like, bro, that's not gonna hurt you, bro. Like, that's not gonna impact you. Like, he wants something that impacts you. He wants something, obviously. I'm gonna be honest with you. If I'm the ghost dude, bro, slide me a couple mil, bro, and I'll give you a map. I'll give you a map of like, you know, how to get out of here, bro. Just listen, work with me. Don't scream at me, work with me. Don't listen. Do not hate the player, bro. Please hate the game. I slide me a couple mil, bro, and I'll help you out. But he is right though. Sacrifice is meant, you know, it's meant for you to it's meant for you to sacrifice something valuable than just, you know, something else or whatever. But yeah, that was nice.
Something taken from another was just an offering.
Yeah.
He speaks his offering to Ceranos, and after hearing his words, 50 more legionaries of the Warp Ghost materialize out of nowhere. They point their guns at Daravac, telling him that his offer had been refused, and that they would be assisting Abaddon and the Black Legion. We don't get to see what that sacrifice is until later in the book, but it's revealed that Abaddon was willing to give them bodies, flesh, living beings, and specifically those of Psychers within the Black Legion and the Psyker children of the fleet's human slaves. It is believed that whatever the Warp Ghosts actually are, they do not have bodies of their own and must inhabit living flesh that will eventually rot and decay. Thus, they need a steady supply of other psychically gifted individuals.
That makes sense. That makes sense. They wanted them to sacrifice something that the ghost needed. Makes sense. Wow. Cause that's like a, and I'm sorry for pausing a lot, but that's like a, I don't know, that's like a drug dealer, like about to rob me, whatever, and he's like, yo, give me something and I'll leave you alone. And I'm like, oh, bro, I'll just give you my money. I'll give you my money. Yeah, cool. He might take the money, but if I have actual like drugs on me or whatever, let's say I did that, but if I have like drugs or whatever, like in my book bag, whatever, he's most likely gonna like, you know, take the drugs and sell it for more than what he could have stole off me. So at the end of the day, like, okay, I understand that.
With which to bond with. The White Seer, Asher Kai, being one of the sorcerers that willingly agrees to go with Ceranos and the Warp Ghosts. And mysteriously enough, although it's not directly confirmed here, it's heavily implied that Ceranos was actually the future self of Asher Kai. To this day, we still don't have a very clear picture of what exactly the Warp Ghosts are, just that they're a mysterious spectral chaos warband that exists somewhere between life and death, and has been instrumental in escorting chaos fleets out of the Eye of Terror. Whatever their ultimate goal is still remains a mystery, but if it hadn't been for them, then the Black Crusades could never have happened. Although the exact nature of the Warp Ghost is still unclear, the true nature of another chapter known as the Black Dragons is much more glaringly obvious, and it's one the Inquisition is not happy about. Mutation is something the Imperium doesn't tend to look on fondly, and when it comes to the Space Marines, random mutation is something normally reserved for members of the Traitor Legions that have had prolonged exposure to the corrupting influence of the Warp. However, this is not always the case, and in fact, the Loyalist chapter known as the Black Dragons, a successor of the Salamanders created during the cursed 21st founding, is perhaps the best example of a mutant legion of Space Marines that has remained vehemently loyal to the Imperium. Although technically not all members of the chapter share these mutations, and many of them are indistinguishable from other salamanders, some of which not even sharing their characteristic jet black skin. A large percentage of them suffer from a defect in one of their implants known as the osmedulla.
Wait, these guys are a part of the salamanders? Wait, these guys right here? Yo, welcome to the I mean, I'm gonna be honest with you, you guys do look a little scary. I mean, listen, if I saw you guys at night, I can't lie to you, I'm running. All you're gonna see is my elbow and my booty. I'm gonna be honest with you. But at the end of the day, hey, bro, welcome to the team, bro. Wow, man, I didn't know that we, like, listen, I knew we had, like, other chapters and stuff like that, you know, because, you know, they tried to take out our team and stuff like that. So, you know, they tried to, you know, 20v1 us, you know, like Drake and the rest of the music industry. But bro, like, just know, man, you guys got my support. Yeah.
An organ that secretes hormones that affect the ossification of a Space Marine skeletal system and aid in the forming of new bone growth. During their development, this thing drastically alters the way in which an astartes' bones grow, causing them to increase in size and strength, as well as fusing their ribcage into a solid bulletproof mass of interlocking plates. In the Black Dragons, however, the implant has gone completely berserk. Not only has it caused many of their members to grow to a size much larger than a typical Space Marine with far denser bones, but most peculiar of all, the organ seemingly doesn't know where to stop. The bones just keep on developing, becoming most—
Oh, it's like an ongoing oh, man, that's horrible. That's absolutely horrible. I'm gonna be honest with you.
Visible in the form of outgrowths
That's
in the
horrible.
Marine's skull, and long bladed bones that jut out of their forearms. Bone blades that for many of the Black Dragons are actually retractable. A lot of their members even sport other dragon-like features, such as elongated fangs and black scaly skin. The inside of their mouth is also said to be completely black, including their lips and inner cheeks,
Oh my
while
God.
also sporting a tongue that tapers into a point like a lizard's. The individuals that have been inflicted with such mutation are formed together in assault teams known as dragon claws. They sharpen their bone blades to a killing edge, and then sheathe them in adamantium to turn them into incredibly deadly close combat weapons. The reality of the Black Dragons is actually pretty sad, as many chapters refuse to fight alongside them due to their obvious signs of mutation. And it should go without saying that the Inquisition is definitely not fans of the chapter. They stretch their tolerance for mutation nearly to a breaking point. All Space Marine chapters are required to submit a tithe of their gene seed to the Adeptus Mechanicus. Most often this serves as an emergency backup if a chapter ever takes devastating losses and is on the brink of extinction.
Oh, okay. I'm gonna be honest with you. That actually makes really good sense. So basically, like, let's say for example, my beautiful, absolutely wonderful salamanders are going out bad. They're like, okay, cool. You know what? Just in case like anything happens or whatever, bro, give me a little bit of your gene seed. So whenever like you and your squad get absolutely destroyed or whatever, we can just like I guess make more of like the squad or something like that, maybe.
Whereas it also serves a more practical purpose in that the Mechanicus can monitor the genetic health of the chapter as well as screen for corruption. Now, here's the weird thing about the Black Dragons. Despite their obvious mutation and their reluctance to hand over any genetic samples, without fail, every single time they have ever submitted their gene seed, it has passed every single genetic purity test the Mechanicus can throw at it. From the perspective of somebody just analyzing the data.
Dang, bro, they passed every drug test. Now listen, I don't take drugs and nothing like that. I don't smoke or whatever, but obviously I know what a drug test is. I know how, listen, I know some people who do smoke or whatever, and they have to take drug tests, and they got to, like, pee in a bottle and all this, bro. Man, listen, they know ways of, like, finessing the test, drinking a bunch of water before they take the test and stuff like that. Like, bro, these guys, listen, even though these guys, like, do, like, drugs or whatever, bro, these guys are like grade A scientists. Like, bro, they got an A in chemistry class, bro. They know everything about like how to pass the drugs and whatever. Bro, these guys, bro, man, you don't even have to worry about them getting fired at their job because they're hitting too much marijuana. Man, these guys, bro, they're passing a test like that. Like, bro, like it's gym class. Listen, I know everybody named mama got an A in gym class and lunch class. Everybody got an A in lunch class as well. Bro, listen, these guys have no worry, bro. Wow.
There is no corruption or mutation at all within the Black Dragons, which obviously doesn't make sense considering they have giant bone blades growing out of their arms and horns.
But does
sprouting out
that
of their
count
head.
though? I don't think that
what
counts.
What exactly is going on here? Well, many believe that this is only possible because the Black Dragons specifically are altering their own gene seed in order to encourage these mutations, as they don't view it as a negative. They don't do this with all of their members, and thus the gene seed they send back is taken from individuals who have not been subjected to the
Makes sense. Wow, they're finessing it. I told you, they're finessing it. Bro, there's people, bro, let me tell you something, bro. There's people, okay, so basically what he just said was, right, let me break it down what he just said. Basically what he said is that everybody in like the Black Dragons, whatever, when they send off the like their gen seed testings or whatever to get tested, West Hammer basically said that, hey, not everybody modify their gene seed. So guess what? There's some people who just like don't do it. So guess what? They take their gene seed, a little bit of their gene seed, and they send that off. And so now the Imperium or whatever think, oh, like, bro, even though they got bones or whatever coming out, like this part of the body, whatever, I mean, I guess they're clean. No, they're not clean. Obviously, they're not clean. But they're taking the gene seed from somebody who don't modify their body and stuff like that. Bro, that's top tier finessing. Because the example that I brought up earlier of people like finessing like the drug test and stuff like that, bro, there's people who would like if it's like too late or whatever, and again, I don't smoke whatever, but if it's too late and they need to hurry up like a quick whatever, like a quick like they basically replace it. So like if your friend calls you up, he's like, yo, my parole officer or whatever about to be here. They about to drug test my urine or whatever. Yo, let me pee in this bottle real quick and let me yeah, like basically they like be like, yo, let me use some of your, this is gonna sound weird, but yo, let me use your pee, bro. Yeah, but basically let me use your pee, whatever. And so you pee in the cup, obviously you as like the non-smoker, whatever, you pee in the cup for him, whatever, boom, close it, make sure it's all wiped off. You don't want to give him the cup, and it feels all weird, whatever. Obviously I never did this before, but you know, and then like, you know, you give them the thing, whatever. And then basically when the parole officer, whatever, come through and they test it, they're basically testing your stuff, you know? So, wow. I'm gonna be honest with you. This is top tier finessing and I love it.
Practice. As far as I'm aware, this is just a rumor and we don't actually know the truth. On one hand, it calls into question what exactly a mutant is, because one could also make the argument that every single Space Marine could be seen as a mutant based on all of the implants and genetic augmentation they have undergone. You don't see regular old people running around spitting acid at each other.
True.
But considering that these are traits that the Emperor designed personally, they are not seen as mutations, but the blessed holy work engineered by the divine. Although the Black Dragons view their mutation as a badge of honor, the defect can quickly become a curse in extreme situations, as within the bowels of their ship are huge, muscled, slavering black dragons that are stuck in a permanent predatory rage. They have mutated into abominations resembling full-blown dragon men, and are chained up to be released on the battlefield to find final peace in a frenzied suicide mission. It's honestly pretty similar to what happens to the Blood Angels when they lose themselves to the Red Thirst. Despite the fact that I'm sure they would really like to, the Inquisition so far has not declared them excommunicate traitores. But if they were to see what lies within the dark corners of their ships, let's say the resulting consequences would not go well for them. Although accusations of heresy have been thrown at the Black Dragons more times than anyone could possibly count, the truth is that they are one of the most fiercely loyal chapters in existence, and time and time again have demonstrated an almost fanatical resolve to protect the lives of the innocent. Such is the curse of being a Black Dragon, to vehemently defend an Imperium that doesn't appreciate them. If the Black Dragons are a chapter that is hated and feared by the Inquisition, then the Red Hunters fall on the completely opposite end of the spectrum. They are a chapter that is believed to have been made in the 31st millennium during the Second Founding. But other than that, pretty much everything about their lineage is unknown. We don't know how many of them there are, what legion they are descended from, or even where their fortress monastery is located. When we think of Space Marines in the Inquisition, we often gravitate towards the Grey Knights working alongside the Ordo Malleum.
Yo, is it me or does she look like what's that one actor from Euphoria? The one white girl that kept getting cheated on and kept getting played. The one crazy white girl. What's her name? Oh man. Everybody, every guy thirst over this woman, bro. She's oh man, she's on Euphoria. She got cheated on by Nate. Bro, what's her name off the show? I forgot her name off the. I'm gonna figure it out.
Or the Death Watch working with Ordo Xenos.
I'm gonna figure it out.
In both of those cases, however, those chapters are their own unique entities with goals and ambition that just often coincide with the Inquisition. Thus, they frequently work together and are often honor-bound to serve the Inquisition when they call for them. The Red Hunters, on the other hand, seemingly exist solely to be a tool.
Sydney Sweeney. Don't ask me how I found that so fast. Shut up.
High-ranking inquisitorial lords. It's believed that they were originally created right after the Horus Heresy, with the primary objective of hunting down and destroying the traitor legions. And over time, the chapter itself has come to be almost synonymous with the Inquisition, as they are routinely called upon to face the servants of the ruinous powers and other enemies of mankind too horrible to mention. It's an uncomfortable reality that the Inquisition will often mind wipe or, in some extreme circumstances, completely purge entire regiments of Imperial Guard or other Imperial forces after they've witnessed the horrors of a full-blown demonic incursion, in order to keep such unholy knowledge from spreading. The things the Red...
So, like, okay, because obviously, okay, so he basically just said that they're, like, he basically said that they, like, just control, alt, delete, like, their memory or whatever. So they won't get, so basically, like, the knowledge won't really, like, stain in their head or whatever. If I'm being completely honest with you, bro, listen, I don't know if you guys know, but, man, if you guys keep, like, restarting a computer over and over again, man, that thing gonna crash and burn. I'm gonna be honest with you, bro. I don't think that's, good for the, I mean, these guys are technically not even human. I don't even think that's good for anybody. If you just keep restarting it, like, bro, they're just basically just like restarting like the memory. That's a little toxic, right?
Hunters are thrown up against make something like this look like child's play, and are said to be so utterly terrifying that the chapter itself is not immune to the practice of mind wiping. In fact, that's where a lot of their mysterious nature comes from, as the line brethren of the chapter are routinely subject to mind wiping. a process that preserves their soul and any and all physical abilities, while sacrificing their memories, skills, experience, and personality. Because of this practice, the Red Hunters have been honed into an absolutely ruthless and brutal chapter, with no higher goals or ambitions than to serve as an unfaltering blade for the Inquisition. Fun fact, the vehicles they use are absolutely covered in battle honors due to the numerous missions they've been used in. However, many of them have been deliberately scrubbed away, and of the ones that remain, there are no records to indicate what operations they were awarded for. It's a secret to everyone, even the Red Hunters that helm those war machines. Every glory they achieve and every victory they earn is wiped from the minds of those who brought it into fruition. All records of such engagements are purged, and they're not even permitted to be recorded in the chapter's archives. This isn't to say that no records of the chapter exist, as they have fought alongside many other chapters during particularly pivotal campaigns, such as the Siege of Vrax. But the truth of their most secretive and brutal solo missions, as well as the knowledge of the enemies they have fought against that are too unthinkable to be even allowed to exist as a memory, are facts about the chapter we probably will never know. The Red Hunters exist as a chapter that has borne witness to the terrifying eldritch truth of the universe and subsequently had it stripped from them, as any who would hold on to these terrible secrets would inevitably descend into a bottomless pit of madness and insanity. Whereas on the other end of the spectrum, the Exorcist chapter is one that goes in the completely opposite direction.
That name sounds absolutely horrendous. I'm gonna be honest with you, I'm expecting total bad things. Let's hear it.
Specifically seeking out such terrifying truths in order to steel themselves against the corrupting nature of chaos. The Exorcists are a dark and brooding chapter of Space Marines, famous for the remarkable feat of them being virtually immune to corruption. Such a powerful ability in the grim darkness of the far future does not come for free, as what they have to go through in order to achieve this is admittedly pretty horrifying. The Exorcists are one of a handful of chapters that can trace their origin back to the mysterious 13th founding, or the Dark Founding, depending on who you ask, as most historical records of this obscure event are often contradictory. Even the astartes within the chapter can't really be sure about the truth of their origins, and those who do have such knowledge maintain tight lips, as not to draw further scrutiny upon the chapter. Which, considering this chapter is famously known for binding demons to themselves in order to further their powers against chaos, the secrecy makes a lot of sense. If any Imperial agent ever found out what they were doing, the entire chapter would immediately be denounced as heretics. Because of the secrecy, and the fact that the Exorcists tend to show up whenever there is a large-scale demonic incursion, this has caused them to be seen with a lot of mistrust by other chapters.
Brother, I wouldn't trust them either. You got these freakazoids just doing freakish things in the dark. Bro, I'm not trusting them either. As a matter of fact, you know what? Listen, in my eyes, I don't care, bro. Man, these bums are heretic, bro. Listen, I'm saying it, bro. Call me whatever you want, bro. These bums are absolute heretic, bro. I'm saying it, man. Forget that. I'm saying it.
Which is ironic considering that both chapters are successors of the Imperial Fists and share the same Primarch, Rogel Dorn. In truth, they were one of the earliest Codex-compliant chapters derived from the Imperial Fists, and they quickly distinguished themselves as worthy scions of that legacy. They were adaptable and excelled in many different strategic challenges, whether that be fighting alongside other members of the Imperium, or setting off on their own brutal crusades to bring death and destruction to the enemies of the Emperor. The chapter's history, however, would suddenly take a violent turn on the world of Totem 4, and their destiny would be changed forever. The world had been beset by demons of Tzeentch, and the Exorcists were one of the first to arrive to defend the planet. Shortly after landing, they immediately found themselves bombarded from every direction by demons. Yet, whether through a quirk in their genetics or by the divine protection of the Emperor himself,
they went unnoticed.
They were somehow able to overcome the pervasive corrupting touch of the sorcerers and demons upon this world. Enraged by the Exorcist's ability to ward off the mutagenic gifts of Tzeentch, one of his greater demons threw his entire psychic essence into the mind of the Exorcist chapter master Enoch. Although at first it seemed like the demon had successfully possessed the chapter master, within his mind, the chapter master warred against the demon in a battle of wills, putting his own defenses to the test. This took a grave toll on his psyche, but in return, he was gifted with profound insights into the weaknesses of his foe, and his latent psychic ability even came into full bloom. In a feat of immense mental strength, he was able to reach out far away to his chief librarian, and the two of them managed to banish the parasitic demon from real space. Even for somebody like a Space Marine chapter master, banishing a greater demon that had possessed somebody like this was a really big deal, and it caught the attention of a radical inquisitorial sect known as the Plutonians. They had already developed
I mean, not really impressive. Vulcan could do, like, he can do the same thing.
suspicions around the chapter based on their unnatural spiritual resilience, and going so far as to have their own spies infiltrate the chapter as one of their serfs. After receiving the spy's report on what had happened on Totem 4, the Plutonians moved quickly to relieve the chapter master of duty, capturing and interrogating him for months. It was only after a long period of interrogation, when no corruption was ultimately detected, that he was able to return to his chapter. However, during those months, the Plutonians revealed to Enoch their own crazy theories about possession, how it worked, and how it might be able to be used as a weapon against chaos. You see, the Plutonians believed that by allowing one to be possessed, they could gain valuable insight into the nature of demons and how better to combat them. Although the theory did make some kind of sense, in practice, it was pretty impractical. It was nearly impossible for somebody to completely rid themselves of a demon's presence after they had become possessed. What the chapter master had managed to do was nearly unthinkable. But if the other members of the Exorcist had even a fraction of his spiritual resistance, they might just be able to turn this theory into reality. Enoch agreed with their theories and, in secret, struck a treaty with the Plutonians, pledging himself and his brothers to their cause. Through their combined efforts on the Exorcist homeworld of Banish, they conducted a program wherein a foreboding factory known as the Halls of Tempering, each and every new Exorcist recruit, as well as all of the existing warriors, would be purposefully subjected to being possessed by a demon. Admittedly, these demons that were used were not quite on the same level as the one that had possessed.
Whoa. Wait, does that mean that everybody gotta do it? Yo, cause I'm gonna be honest with you, I'm not doing that. Hey, I don't care what you say, bro. I'm not having another man enter my body. Listen, bro. I don't care what you say, bro. Hey, King, bro. Cut the head off, bro. Do what you gotta do, bro. Do what you gotta do, bro. Bro, listen. I'm gonna be honest with you, bro. I'm not letting another man, bro, be inside of me, bro. I'm sorry, bro. Listen, if you're not Jesus, if you're not the Holy Spirit, bro, I do not want you inside of me, bro. I'm sorry, and maybe that's just whatever, but like, if you're not, listen, if you're not it, bro, if it's not the Holy Spirit, I don't want nothing inside of me, bro. No demon, no nothing. Listen, I don't play none of that demon stuff. Hey, you exorcism freaks, you keep those over there. I'm gonna be honest with you, keep that right over there. That's nasty.
The chapter master, but they were still incredibly powerful in their own
I'm
right.
good.
After the possession was allowed to take place, the Inquisitors would monitor the situation carefully before eventually driving the demon out and returning the host to the chapter for recovery and reflection. This is a practice that continues to this day, and most Exorcist recruits are forced to banish the demon on their own. Those who are able to emerge triumphantly from this incredibly disturbing trial are rendered somehow even more fearless and resilient to demonic corruption. The possession gives each battle brother their own personal revelation into the nature of demon kind, which will serve them in all future engagements against the ruinous powers. We don't know the full extent of what the procedure does to any member of the Exorcists, but they maintain a stony silence on all matters of chapter training and tradition. Willingly allowing yourself to be possessed by a demon in order to subsequently banish it and emerge more powerful than before is a pretty gnarly process when you stop to think about what they're actually.
Nah, that ain't gnarly to me. I'm good. Hey, maybe it's me. That's not gnarly to me. I'm gonna be honest with you.
However, this is not the worst part of it, not by a long shot. You see, not all of the chapter's aspirants end up being successful, but it's important to note that if they've reached this point in their training, then they have received the chapter's gene seed and thus their innate spiritual resilience, making their bodies the perfect containment units for demonic entities. The chapter reasons that if these brothers are not able to serve them on the battlefield, then they will serve as a living jail cell for hundreds of different demonic entities. These individuals become so saturated with warp spawn that they are sustained in a state of deathless torture, their bodies enduring for centuries while their minds break apart. The Exorcists refer to them as the Broken Ones, and will serve as a containment unit for all of the harvested demons that the other initiates are able to successfully banish from their own bodies. This prevents the demons from returning to the warp and revealing the chapter's secrets to all the hostile sentients within the Imperium. The Broken Ones are closely guarded by the chapter, as if any one of them was ever able to escape, the results would be absolutely catastrophic. And those were 4 of the coolest and most obscure chapters of Space Marines that not enough people know about. Which one was your favorite and why? Do you think...
I mean, the one that was associated with the salamanders, the black dragons. Yo, shout out to y'all, man. That was my favorite. That was my favorite. That was my favorite. Let's wrap this one
The
up.
exorcists binding demons to themselves is ultimately a good idea, or do you think it's going to end up having some disastrous consequences in the future?
Disastrous consequences in the future. I'm gonna be honest with you, man. Comment down below, man. What do you guys think about this? Shout out to West Hammer again. Make sure you guys check them out in the description down below. This is actually a pretty fun video. Hopefully you guys had fun watching this video. You know what, the boy. And make sure you guys like the video, subscribe to the channel if you guys are new. Make sure you guys follow my Twitch at twitch.tv/KingND with 2 Y's, man. Thank you guys so much for coming through. I'm gonna see you guys every time out. Peace out.